Hello, my name is Wook, and I'm a music therapist. I work in a community hospital in Colchester for adults with learning disabilities. I qualified as a music therapist in September 2005, and I have been working for this hospital in one form or another since January 2006. So it's been 20 years since I've started working here. I'm very lucky in that I work in a small department of arts therapists, which include music therapists, art psychotherapists, and drama therapists. The casework I would like to present is my work with somebody who I'm going to call Karen. She's a lady in her mid-40s. She lost her mum after mum suffered a long period of illness, and she struggled to cope afterwards with her feelings of loss and sadness. Just as an aside, we get quite a lot of referrals for unresolved bereavement issues. And this is often not helped by the fact that families sometimes choose not to invite our service users to attend the funerals, just in case it might be too upsetting for them. But this means that they never get to say goodbye to the person who's passed away, and they carry these feelings of unresolved bereavement with them for years afterwards. And this was certainly the case for Karen, and for her these feelings came out in the form of challenging behavior, especially towards her brother, who was her guardian. Just to give you a bit more background about Karen, the referral came from Karen's advocate, and it was around helping Karen with her emotions following the loss of her mum. It was an external referral, which meant that we had to respond within an 18-week period. And as I said earlier, the issues really were to do with her behavior following the loss of her mum. And this involves slamming doors at home, keeping her brother and his partner awake at night. Karen really struggled to process the loss of her mum, and she spoke about seeing her everywhere in the house, and she sometimes felt so depressed that she didn't want to get out of bed. Just before we started our work, Karen subsequently moved out of the family home to a supported living home. And she started living with 2 other service users and carers. Yeah, and as I said, this move happened a few months before we started the music therapy work. In terms of treatment and support for Karen, so I had that initial pre-assessment meeting with Karen and her support worker to discuss the referral, and also to determine whether she would benefit from music, art, or drama. In Karen's case, I think she chose music herself, which made it much easier for her to make that decision. And then I offered Karen 2 sessions of music therapy assessment, just to see how she would get on with playing music, and also how she would engage with me as her therapist. And following the assessment, we set 2 main aims for Karen, and that was to help her to use music to express her difficult feelings, such as sadness and anger, and also to help her to use her singing, because it quickly emerged that Karen enjoys singing. So yeah, to help her to use her singing and songwriting to explore her feelings of loss to do with her mum. And so, yeah, I offered sessions in 16 session blocks, followed by review after each block. The main theme of our work was to help her to use music, especially singing, to connect with her feelings of loss, sadness, and anger to do with her mum. And also to her feelings to do with not having had the opportunity to say goodbye to her while she was alive, as well as helping her with her feelings of survivor's guilt. As I said, Karen loves to sing, and she uses it well to sing about missing her mum. And she often sings about how she hopes that mum was still looking at her from above. So we did a lot of voice work in the sessions where I played the piano and Karen would sing over it. I would often ask her to set the mood of the music, really, of what she would sing. Also, I would invite her to choose a couple of chords to set the mood, and then she would sing over those chords, which I would play on the piano. Sometimes she would sing using words, and at other times she would just use her vocal sounds, but still kind of expressing her feelings using her vocal sounds. In terms of multidisciplinary work with Karen, so while I was working with her, psychiatry was involved in monitoring medication for depression and anxiety. Karen is under quite a lot of medication for depression and anxiety, so psychiatrists, just monitored the medications and made sure that they were still working for Karen from time to time. Community nursing was involved in terms of monitoring Karen's living environment and how it might be contributing to her anxiety level. As a result of one of their recent visits, Karen was offered to attend 6-week anxiety group to help her to find strategies to deal with her anxieties. And I worked also closely with the home manager at review meetings, just to monitor really how things are at home, and also to share with the carers how Karen's been doing really in her sessions with me. So outcome of music therapy work with Karen. So now we're working towards the ending of music therapy. Karen is hoping to go back to college, and she's also hoping to be able to travel more independently on public transport, on buses. Her relationship with her brother has really improved. So brother and his partner are having Karen around for visits more regularly, and they're hoping to work towards her staying overnight, which is something that Karen really wants to do. And Karen has started to accept the loss of mum, as well as the fact that there will always be days when she would feel sad and upset that mum was no longer here, such as on Mother's Day and her birthday and around Christmas time. And if you would like to find out more information on music therapy, I would like to invite you to visit BAMT website. So that's British Association for Music Therapy. Thank you for listening.